Republicans are getting booed everywhere in the United States right now, at the federal level, at the state level. That video we just shared with you comes from Bram Resnick. It's in Arizona, where Republican legislators returned for the first day of the 2026 legislative session, and they were mercilessly booed by the people of Arizona who were fed up with Donald Trump invading Arizona's cities and towns with his ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo, and they're fed up with the tactics by ICE across the United States, and they let their Republican legislators have it. You heard that right there. But Republicans are getting booed across the United States, and Republican leadership at state and federal levels are saying Donald Trump is doubling down on stupid, and maybe we all just deserve to lose so that we can send a message to Donald Trump that when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, that Donald Trump needs to be blown out during the midterms so that a message can be sent. And MAGA Republicans are pissed off at Donald Trump, saying that he's the president of Venezuela, Donald Trump threatening war with basically every country in the Western Hemisphere. And they're particularly fed up with Donald Trump as well for demanding that the Department of Justice and causing the Department of Justice to launch a federal criminal investigation into the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. Even critics of Jerome Powell within the MAGA ranks are pissed at the way Donald Trump has handled this and the fact that Donald Trump demanded and caused a criminal investigation to take place. When we were looking at the halls of Congress today, you had MAGA Mike running away from cameras in typical MAGA Mike fashion, but we were hearing from a lot of Republicans who were voicing their opposition against Donald Trump. A lot of Republicans went on the record. I'll share that with you. And a lot of Republicans spoke on background to reporters or were talking to reporters off the record. Take a look at what Melanie Zanona writes about what her sources were telling her over at NBC News. There's lots of anger inside the GOP over the Jerome Powell criminal probe by Trump's Department of Justice, even from critics of Jerome Powell who are Republicans. One House Republican told Melanie, quote, "Maybe we should lose the majority so the White House and leadership stop making stupid decisions. Our leadership and administration just keeps doubling down on stupid. Republicans rooting for themselves to lose big in the midterms." And one of the things we learned as well, and a lot of Republicans despise this guy, Bill Pulte, who runs the Fair Housing Administration for the Trump regime. This is the guy who gins up all of those fake charges against people like Letitia James and Adam Schiff and Swalwell for mortgage fraud. It's that guy. So Bill Pulte was the one apparently who pitched Donald Trump on ousting Jerome Powell, going so far as to bring wanted posters of the Fed chief along with him, according to three people familiar. A fourth person familiar said the White House is unhappy that the story about Pulte being the instigator got out, and they blame him for the leak. So it's total chaos, total madness in the White House. This is MAGA Mike Johnson, though, running away from Manu Raju and other reporters when they asked MAGA Mike about the Justice Department being weaponized by Donald Trump to go after Jerome Powell. Watch what MAGA Mike says. Play this clip.
Against the Fed chairman?
Of course not.
How do you...
Well, that was what MAGA Mike says. As Marjorie Taylor Greene, former Congresswoman, said, MAGA Mike's not really the Speaker of the House. He's just a Trump stooge. He's a Trump puppet. And that's how puppets behave. But take a look at what Tom Tillis, Republican from North Carolina, Republican Senator Steve Daines, here's what they said about the Trump regime launching a criminal investigation into Jerome Powell. Here, let's play this clip right here.
Do you think the White House is trying to stop the independence of the Fed?
Somebody at DOJ. I mean, the president said he wasn't in the mix. Another example of amateur hour, as far as I'm concerned.
Should they drop the investigation?
I'm not going to get into that. What I'm going to do is drop any consideration for any board confirmation until it's done.
What are you concerned about?
Well, I support the independence of the feds, and I hope that this investigation wraps up very, very quickly.
And what's the impact if it isn't wrapped up quickly?
It will wrap up quickly. It needs to.
Now, here are some Republicans speaking with Manu Raju about how this Trump regime is handling everything, whether it's threatening to invade Greenland, invade every country in the Western Hemisphere, just the general tone and tenor and pathetic behavior of this regime. Take a listen to what these Republicans said right here. Play this clip.
I feel like it's very, I use this word right now, maybe too much, but very amateurish. I feel like we've got high school kids playing Risk.
And we're talking about an ally.
Greenland is not part of America, and we can't simply take it because we want to. To do so would be a colossal mistake. It would end NATO.
Folks, amateur hour is over. You don't speak on behalf of this U.S. Senator or the Congress. You can say it may be the position of the President of the United States that Greenland should be a part of the United States, but it's not the position of this government.
Look, I do not support any military action in Greenland.
Hey everybody, Ben Meiselas here from the MeidasTouch Network. I wanted to let you know about my podcast partner, Michael Popak's new law firm. It's called the Popak Firm. Michael Popak's pursuing his dream of starting his own law firm, really based on the popular demand by all the Meidas Mighty and legal AFers who were approaching Michael Popak with their cases and saying, can you help us? And at that time, Popak was not able to. So he went out on his own. He started the Popak Firm, where he is now handling catastrophic injury cases like car accident cases, trucking cases, malpractice cases, big negligence cases, wrongful death cases. So if you or someone you know have a case like this, the consultation with Popak's firm is free. Give him a call. See if you have a case. It's thepopakfirm.com, thepopakfirm.com, or you can call 877-POPOK-AF, P-O-P-O-K-A-F. So 1-877-POPOK-AF. Give Michael Popak a call. And I'm really proud of you, Popak. Thanks for all the hard work you're putting in. Well, we got another video right here of MAGA Mike Johnson running away. And here he says that he reserves judgment regarding the alarms raised by the former Fed chairs. You'll recall that yesterday, on a bipartisan basis, former chairmen and chairpeople of the Federal Reserve and former Treasury secretaries and former Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, regardless of which administration appointed them, wrote a joint statement calling out the Trump regime for weaponizing the DOJ to go after Jerome Powell. Here's what MAGA Mike had to say about that. Let's play this clip right here.
Every Fed chairman says this is an attack on the independence of the institution, and they're raising major alarms. Are you not concerned about the ramifications of this investigation?
We're gonna let the investigation play out. There's concern about cost overruns and whatever the allegations are. I don't know. I wasn't involved in that. It's something that you have to look into, and so we'll have to reserve judgment. I know the media loves to jump to conclusions. Everyone does every day around everything here, and I think you have to let the process play out. If Chairman Powell is innocent, then he can prove that, and it'll all come out.
There's so many people. There's Comey. There's Letitia James. Now there is Powell. Are they not? Is the Justice Department not being weaponized by this president?
No, the Justice Department is not being weaponized. It was for 4 years under Biden-Harris, and so that's what everybody expects. But I do not think that's
Speaker, are you worried about how does this, Mr. Speaker,
Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune told a group of reporters, according to Manu Raju, that he wants to see the probe into federal Chairman Powell, quote, resolve quickly because of the Fed's role in shaping monetary policy so that it can proceed without political interference. could be challenging, he said, to confirm his replacement, because we know that Thom Tillis and other Republicans have now said they're going to place a hold, that they'll place the hold on any of Donald Trump's picks to be Board of Governors at the Federal Reserve, as well as to replace Jerome Powell when a replacement is due in the coming months. Republican Senator Crapo put out the following statement about Powell. Quote, "I have long said the Federal Reserve as an independent body should remain free of political influence. I do not have many facts of the current investigative matter and will withhold further comment. I would like to see this resolved as quickly as possible." French Hill of Arkansas, the Republican chair of the House Financial Services Committee, said that the criminal charges against Powell are an unnecessary distraction. Jake Sherman posts, he has known Powell since working with him at Treasury for Bush 41. Quote, "I've known Chairman Powell since we worked together at Treasury during the George H.W. Bush administration. Then, as now, I know Mr. Powell to be a man of strong integrity with a strong commitment to public service. While over the years we have had our policy disagreements, I found him to be forthright, candid, and a person of the highest integrity. Pursuing criminal charges relating to his testimony on building renovations at a time when the nation's economy requires focus creates unnecessary distraction. The Federal Reserve is led by strong, capable individuals appointed by President Trump, and this action could undermine this and future administration's ability to make sound monetary policy decisions." Senator Kevin Cramer, no fan of Powell, as Emily Wilkins writes, says he doesn't believe that he's a criminal and calls for the investigation to be put to rest quickly. Jerome Powell is a bad Fed chair who has been elusive with Congress, especially regarding the overruns of the elaborate renovations of the building. He hid behind the Fed's independence when Biden was pouring fuel on the inflation with the ARP and IRA, but openly encouraged Congress to bail out the economy during the pandemic. By the way, I disagree with everything Cramer said there, but whatever. I do not believe, however, he is a criminal, Cramer writes. I hope this criminal investigation can be put to rest quickly, along with the remainder of Jerome Powell's term. We need to restore confidence in the Fed. Lisa Murkowski, Republican senator, says, after speaking with Chair Powell this morning, it's clear the administration's investigation is nothing more than an attempt at coercion. If the Department of Justice believes an investigation into Chair Powell is warranted based on project cost overruns, which are not unusual, then Congress needs to investigate the Department of Justice. The stakes are too high to look the other way. If the Federal Reserve loses its independence, the stability of our markets and the broader economy will suffer. My colleague, Senator Tillis, is right in blocking any Federal Reserve nominees until this is resolved. And Senator Thune also said this better be real and better be serious because he's fed up as well. Another right here, another video of Thom Tillis entering his office. And he says, anybody responsible for this vindictive prosecution needs to grow up. Here, play this clip right here.
What's your message to the administration?
My message isn't to the administration. My message to whoever who went after what I consider to be vindictive prosecution to grow up and give the president better advice.
So there you have it, folks. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Republicans returning to booze. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.